Hi everyone, and welcome to our farm apiary. This is one of the sites that we've got here in Norfolk. If you haven't seen the channel before, welcome to the Norfolk Honey Company and our YouTube channel. Do take a look at our Patron page where we post a lot more videos over the active season. But for now, we've just popped out. It's blowing quite a chilly wind today. We want to just check on the colonies that we've got here in our honeypore Langstroth hives, because this site particularly, the oilseed rape has flowered. You can probably see it in the background, but we'll take the camera around and do a pan across the field. It's bitterly cold, but the bees are flying quite actively, foraging. I guess the temperatures are around maybe 6 degrees, but with the wind chill it feels a lot colder than that. But I am concerned that we're at that threshold of needing to put additional space on the colonies for the bees prior to the weather warming up and getting into the swarming season. So today's task really is not to inspect, but we will take the top off a couple of these hives that have already got boxes on, just to see whether the bees are active in it, but to add some additional space. And we've got some more boxes here, a combination of deep Langstroth boxes and also the medium, well, they're actually shallow Langstroth boxes for honey. So we'll be fairly quick here, no full inspections, but let's just take the camera over to the hives and have a very quick look. So we're just literally going to take the roof off, have a look under the cover board, or through the cover board, because one of the benefits of the honeypore hives is that they have a clear cover board, and really just to see what activity we've got. It's still quite cold, but we're at that really difficult point of needing to add some extra space and it still being really cold, and we've got about another week of very cold weather. But with the oilseed rape being in flower as advanced as it is here, and this is as advanced a site as I've seen in all of our travels so far, I really don't want to neglect giving space so that it kind of trips the bees into that swarming instinct and away they go and we lose them to swarming. So really there's no inspecting, it's just taking the roof off, see what activity we've got, and if we've got wall-to-wall bees, then I'll put the queen excluder on and just one super which has got drawn comb on it on top of that, and then we'll close them up again. So we'll tilt the camera down to have a look at what we're looking at, and then I'll just go ahead and pop the roof off. So let's have a quick look. We really don't want to leave them for too long. As you can see, we've got bees all the way across, so I'm going to put the super on, queen excluder at the ready, and I'm literally just going to peel off this cover board. I can feel the heat escaping from the brood box, so we don't want to take too much time. We want to get this on as quickly as we can to keep them as warm as possible. Some little termites on the top there, and that really is all we need to do. We've got some drawn comb in here, and if they need to add some additional space for stores, they've now got it, and it's as simple as that. It doesn't cause the temperature to drop in the brood box terribly. Obviously we're losing heat as soon as we take this insulated roof off. They're losing heat, and we need to maintain that 35 degrees in the brood nest area. So they've now got some additional space. This poly material is a really good insulator, so it does allow them to maintain that warmth throughout the box. And now we've got extra space, I feel a little bit happier about leaving them until the weather warms up, perhaps next weekend. So in 7 days time we should be able to get back and have a look, and perhaps we'll bring the camera back and have a look at this specific hive and see how they're doing. We'll just have a look at one more. We've got one box that we put a super on. I put a super on last week, so we'll just go down and have a look at those. I know that they're up in the super, so I'll perhaps just pull out one of the frames. We'll see what they're storing and just judge whether they need any additional space. So this hive, I've already had a quick look underneath the roof, and the bees are up in the super, they're working it. I'm going to open them up and just have a quick look at one of the frames. And you'll notice that we're not taking the super off and looking in the brood box. We just want to have a look to see what they're doing in this top box, to see whether they need to have any additional space. So you might be able to see that they're storing honey. We've got probably half a frame of honey in the top here, and they're not going to need any additional space. There's enough space there to see us through this end frame. One quick look at this end frame. I think also, just to double check, again, they're packing away the honey into it, but they've got plenty of room there. So there's no need for us to give them any additional space at the moment because they've got enough here. So we'll get the cover board back on and leave them to it. So I'm really pleased with the way these colonies are developing. As you can see, the oilseed rape is almost in full flower here, full bloom, and the bees are really getting stuck into it, even though we're barely above 5 degrees, 6 degrees Celsius. So, and I think that's around 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's still very chilly, and the breeze that's blowing is very cool as well. But it looks like the colonies have settled in quite nicely and are going to develop really well. We're also experimenting here with some deep Langstroth bodies that also have plastic frames in them. We didn't do terribly well last year, it has to be said, with the plastic frames, but we're going to give them another try, and we're using them here to see if we can get the bees to draw those frames on a strong nectar flow, and I think that's probably partly key to getting a decent comb drawn on these new plastic frames. But we'll give it a try, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll show that on some videos as well. Finally, if you haven't seen our Patreon page, then please do pop across to our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/Norfolk Honey. There we'll be producing a lot more videos throughout the summer. We also produce the podcast plus other content, downloads, pictures, a whole range of stuff. And I also host mentoring for beginner beekeepers there as well. So if you're just starting out and you need some additional help, then do take a look at that. I'll pop all the links down in the description beneath the video. Also to say that on YouTube, we've switched off the comments on all of the new videos, and that's purely because at this time of the year we just don't have the time. I don't have the time personally to answer all of the questions that get posted, and I think it's a little bit rude not to be able to answer those questions. But if you do have any questions that you'd like me to answer, then pop over to the Patreon page or head over to my website, and again the links will be in the description below, and I'll gladly answer any questions that you've got. Well, that's it from a very chilly, blustery Norfolk. Hope to catch up with you next time, but for now, thanks for watching.